Hi everybody, this is Felicia. I'm here today with a scrap page here, and this is going to be the final scrap page using the kit, the Elastic Heart kit from Scraptastic. I'm going to be jumping right into the next kit here. So right now I'm going to be just giving you some ideas on what's going to be happening in my channel as well. I do have some Project Life videos coming. Yay! I know people have been asking me about that. So I have some of those coming soon. And I'm going to be doing one more in my sketchiness series. And then I'm going to be moving on to a different series. So there's a few things, like I said, that's going to be changing here as far as my channel is concerned. So anyway, so now back to the layout. What I'm doing right now is I'm getting some of the papers here from the kit, and I'm using right there. What you see is a 3x4 card that's cut apart in the kit, and I'm going to be putting these two pieces together. Now, what I figured out was the pink, as you look at the top, is kind of blending in, and so what I wanted to do was figure out how I'm going to, get this to stick out. And so I decided to take the worn lipstick from with the Tim Holtz Distress ink and ink the edges and see if that would help. And it did a little bit, but not enough. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to be changing it around the background a little bit there. But before I do that, I am going to do something with the edges of this layout, which I'm going to be embossing them. And I'm going to be using the stamp set that came in the kit as well. And the piece that I'm going to be using is called Remember This. So there you see me try to get it all straight. I used the grid on my mat there to help me get it straight. So I'm going to be setting up all these little pieces here and trying to kind of get an idea of where I want them to go. And that fabulous, if you look at it, you can see it's kind of blending a little bit with the pink, so I'm going to be moving that over as well a little later. And then the moments are going to be still there, but it's going to be a little bit higher. So here's where I start to do the using the embossing, the Versamark ink to put this along the edges. Now I'm going to do the whole entire edge here of this layout here, and I'm going to be using some of the Hero Arts Black Fine embossing powder. And I like to emboss. I just got to remember to do it as often as I would like to, but I do love doing embossing. So and I still get amazed by how it just does its thing. You get it on there and then you melt it and it's all nice to the touch and everything. So yeah, I still like embossing and I still get amazed by it. So here I'm going to show you an example here, and then I'm going to skip ahead once I get this embossed. And I'm doing that along the edges there. And you can see I'm going to give you an up close look here, I think here right about there. So that's what it says, remember this. So I've done the whole entire edge, if you can see. I got a little spot down there, but I'm not worried about that little spot. So it's going to be covered up for the most part. So there's what I decided to do, is put a white piece of cardstock in the background so that the rest of this can pop a little bit more. And so you can see that it does better now that I put that down there. And then there's the photo. Now this photo is of my daughter and her husband and her 2 children. This is not a photo of me. A lot of people thought it was me, but it's not. So I'm just letting you know it's not me, it's my daughter. So I'm putting all these pieces on here now that I've gotten everything situated on the left side there. And that little paperclip camera came from a Freckled Fawn kit. And I'm going to be gluing it down because it kind of pops up a little bit, and it won't stay on if you don't glue it down. So I'm just going to glue it down there. Now this photo, I'll tell you a little bit about it. This photo, my daughter had won this family portrait photo through Sears. She submitted a family portrait photo that I did, and they liked it so much that they won a free photo session, and then they became the spokespeople for the Sears here in the Northern California area. So when you went into Sears, you would see that family portrait, not that particular one, but a different one. But um, that's how they got this photo, is because they submitted a portrait that I did and won. So, and they got a free family photo session, and it was kind of cool. And I thought that was the greatest thing ever. So I'm like, oh yay, you know. But it's not often that you get the those kinds of surprises in life where you something simple turns out to be something big, which in their case it was really cool. So I'm gluing down some of these little vellum pieces. That vellum piece that is came in the elastic heart set as well, and kit. I mean, sorry about that. I just ate breakfast, so I'm kind of like, oh, I'm stuffed. You get lazy once you get stuffed. Anyway, so elastic heart that is, and I am gluing down all of those hearts. Now those two-tone hearts came from the Freckle Fawn kit, and this washi tape as well came from the Freckle Fawn kit. I figured since they were pink and craft and then pink and red, it would be the perfect time to use those because I would not use them on any other kind of layout. So I go ahead and decided to use them on this one. So I'm trying to figure out if I should put that bow there or not. Sometimes I get a little frustrated and I'm like, ah, oh, man, the things that I want to use on it, I don't use on it. But I didn't end up using that. But I'm going to be cutting out some strips here from the Scraptastic kit there. And those are cut aparts as well. And you can use them as a whole sheet or you can just cut them apart like I've done. So I'm going to be using 2 pieces for this layout as well on this spread here. So I'm putting that up the top there, and I'm putting one at the bottom. So sorry, you're probably hearing some voices in the background. That's my husband and some company. They're watching the game. I was hoping I would definitely get a chance to do this voiceover without them watching the game and being loud down there. And it's so funny because it echoes upstairs and it's like, no, I don't want to hear you. Even though I got the door closed, you can still hear them. Now, those enamel dots came from the previous Scraptastic kit there, so I'm going to be using those as well. Those are big. Those are huge. So I didn't use all of them as quickly as I would like to. And I'm also going to add this little strip here of washi tape from that freckled fawn sheet there. And of course, those are more like an epoxy dots, and so I'm going to be putting those on there as well with the enamel dots. So I'm getting those all situated there on that side. I'm getting them at the top here. And I was going to put some at the bottom, but I had to think about what I wanted to do because I haven't done journaling, but then my handwriting would not have looked well enough to put on this layout, so I had to think in advance what was I going to use. And so I eventually come in, which you probably won't see with me, some strips of words here, and I just put them all together at the base of the layout instead of me hand journaling. So I'm putting the glue up there, and it did warp a little bit, so I ended up putting that paper on another much more sturdier piece of cardstock, the pink that is. So now I am gluing down the final touches here of the layout, getting all those wood pieces down, and there's the journaling strips that you see at the bottom. And I am pretty much all done with this layout here. So there it is. So I want to thank you guys for watching and look forward to some changes on my channel here coming soon. And take care, you guys. Bye.